Hello everyone, it's Rich bringing you a review for something that nobody asked for. But we thought, you know what, for the good of the gaming world, we would tell you if this game is worth getting, or should it be left in the past along with when it came out on the PlayStation 2. Now, as I just said, this game did come out on the PlayStation 2 in 2006, and this may surprise you, but here's a fun fact. It was the 9th best-selling PlayStation 2 game, shipping 5.2 million copies, which was pretty staggering. Now, how I'm going to do this review is give you a little bit of the story at the start of the game, and a small bit of the backstory, if you will, to kind of like gel things together so it brings you to the start of the game. Now, as you can see, the game starts with, in the opening cutscene here, with a wedding. And not just any wedding, oh god no. It is a royal wedding between the princess and that guy right there in that cool looking armor called Lord Rassler. And it's all very nice and Final Fantasy-ish at the start. Very much so that you kind of look there and think, oh, this is really peaceful. Oh god, what's happening? Basically, the Empire decides to invade the kingdom of Dalmasca, and Lord Rassler gets caught right up in the middle of it to hold a key position for the kingdom. He's gone there because his father's there and he's trying to search for his father, but sadly, he does die. The kingdom of Dalmasca kind of put up a really good fight against the Empire at the start of the game, as you can see going on the screen here. But they're completely outgunned, outmatched, and basically fighting for their lives. And then Rassler gets shot in the chest, or well, the throat, kind of, with a bow and arrow, which that guy there couldn't save him. It's a lot to get through in just one cutscene. Am I right? So as I said, kind of everything in the backstory happens in this one cutscene, which if I played the entire thing, it would have made the entire video because it's that long. You then take off the game playing as a normal foot soldier called Rex, and along with the party members that you see there, which are by other soldiers, you fight to make it to the king's throne room, only to find out that you have been betrayed within your own ranks and the king is murdered, forcing the princess to fake her death. A wise move, in my opinion. Then the game cuts forward a few years and you're playing as Rex's younger brother Van, who is one of the main characters of the game. Now, the graphics on the cutscenes, I will say, have been updated quite a bit and looks visually great. Everything flows very nice and there are no jumpiness. There's no jumpiness or glitching within them, so pro points for the great work on the remastering of those cutscenes. Now we're going to move on to a short introduction of each one of the characters that you get in your party throughout the game, and basically the main characters of the game itself. First off, we have Van, this guy, who's a teenager with ambitions of getting out of Dalmasca and becoming a sky pirate. Secondly, we have this girl named Penelo, who's sort of like a sister to Van. They grew up together and they are always looking out for one another. Then we have Bolfir, who's a smart-talking sky pirate who is always looking for treasure. And his partner Fran, this girl who is a complete badass and is personally my favourite character of the game. And next we have a knight called Bosch, who was framed for killing the king at the start, but is definitely on the side of freeing Dalmasca from Imperial rule and protecting the princess. And finally we have Lady Ash, or just Ash. She's waiting and biding her time to take back the kingdom and her rightful place as Queen of Dalmasca. Now, the overall character design and the way that it's written is great. Each one of the main cast have their own little quirks and they bring their own little thing to the game to make it feel enjoyable, and you look forward to the characters interacting between each other. We're moving on, people! And we're going to talk about the movement and combat system. The movement, for an old game, is actually really fluent. There's no jitteriness to it. In it, personally, I haven't experienced any glitches at all. The combat, on the other hand, it's unlike the Final Fantasy games that we all know and love. And to me, is the main problem with the newer Final Fantasy games. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Final Fantasy games. Love them. New, old, and I'm probably the only one here that actually really enjoyed Lightning Returns. But the combat system in new ones like this just got rid of the turn-based combat and replaced it with this free movement, charge times to try and make it feel turn-based, but it's not turn-based. It doesn't feel right. But in this game, for the most part, it works well. There are no bugs, no glitches, and everything runs smoothly. As you can see by the fact I'm beating up a giant turtle with no head. But I digress. For the most part, the movement, as I said, is fun. It's easy and enjoyable. But in my personal opinion, it really, really, really needs to be turn-based. Also, at this point, I feel I really have to mention the music. You can choose between the original music or the remastered music, which I haven't really paid too much attention to the original music. I kind of just listened to the remastered music, but it fits really nicely. It really, really sucks you into playing to your mind that you're actually playing a Final Fantasy game. And as we all know, Final Fantasy games always have amazing pieces of music in it. That's one of the things they work really hard on. Something that's really actually kind of cool in this game is the upgrade system, which you're seeing here. Sort of like a chessboard, where you basically decide how you want to upgrade your character. You can choose which different parts, as you can see here, to upgrade, whether or not you want to upgrade your sword class, or your armor class, or get more health, or get more... See, the thing is, in this one, when you level up, you don't... Like, each time you level up in older games, you would get a set amount of HP that would automatically be added to your character. In this one here, it doesn't work like that. If you don't upgrade your health through these little boxes and that you see on the chessboard, then your health will stay the same. And believe me when I tell you, later on, you're going to need... Like, that's the first thing that you should upgrade, is the health. Because of some of these bad guys, they do a lot of damage very quickly at low levels. Here is where you also get to choose your license class, basically. That's where you pick what weapons your characters primarily use, whether you want to be white mage, black mage, a sword, you know, things of that nature. But I have to urge you, be very, 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 very careful when picking your first class. Don't do what I did, where I picked a class for Van that I thought would be really cool, but it actually turned out it was useless because the evasion skill in that class wasn't very high, and you can't really upgrade that. So don't worry, you can later on in the game change it. Not change it, you can pick a second class, but that's probably about halfway through the game. So you need to be very careful when choosing what class each person needs to have. And there are literally hundreds of combinations you can pick between different classes of your characters working together, all for an advantage over the stronger types of enemies. Do you have problems with grinding in games like this? Do you wish that there was a button that could magically speed up all the grinding and make it less tedious? Well, this is the game for you people, because the geniuses over at Square Enix have made a button that you just press L1 on your controller on the PlayStation, and it puts the game into what I like to call turbo mode. It moves everything so much faster. The combat, the charge times, everything. So you can run around an area and just grind the hell out of it to level up faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Now, it doesn't obviously boost the experience you get. It stays the same, but it's faster. Everything's faster. And as you can see here, it really does work well. Now, going back to the chess thing and the licenses, one of the things that you get, you'll see, you only ever get 1 or 2 LP. If you can see, whenever I kill something, it comes up saying 1 LP or 2 LP. Now, LP stands for license points, and that is what you need to save up and spend to get your different squares in the chessboard, if that makes much sense. So, to finish, guys, I would say, yes, this game is definitely worth getting. It has a gripping story, and time just flies by when you're playing this little gem. So do yourselves a favour, if you're a fan of RPGs, or fan of Final Fantasy games in general, maybe you're looking for something a little different to pick up and play, you will not be disappointed. So here's Rich and Bob, giving this game a thumbs up. And if any of you made it this far, congratulations, you get a cookie. Who doesn't love a cookie? Now that all the delicious cookies have been given out and all the thumbs up have been given, I will say thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope this helps you make a decision on this game. And we will catch you in the next one.